become actual victims of the conflict themselves. They become brutalized by it, and they slowly lose their kindness, and they become animals. And then after a while, it's just a question of getting even, of killing as many people as you can. There's always this danger, and we have seen it in the past, where fighters have come in with great ideals, and after 10 years they have espoused the same methods that the oppressor has. So then it becomes a question of who can kill more, and then the whole everything is destroyed in the process.
Your books, your novels, and having not read your poetry, but I suspect your poetry also has the thread of supporting the underdog, supporting people who are downtrodden that maybe the international media has not covered to any extent. You mentioned to me that you were writing another novel. Are you prepared to talk to about it?
Yes, sure, I can talk about it. Yeah. And maybe I have not analyzed myself in this vein, but Nick, you bring these analytical skills to extract things out of my heart. But maybe yes, I somehow feel, and it comes from growing up in Brazil, where I saw the youth that was very idealistic, and somehow. In those days, the American policy towards these people was very negative. The local governments, they crushed them, and they crushed them because they were supported very strongly by some doctrine that came out of the West, meaning that there was a fight against communism. So in the name of this fight against communism, everything was allowed as long as stability was maintained, and that was maintained through, often in Latin America, military dictatorships. And then it became unpopular, and now all support goes to democracies. But in those days, the support was clearly for dictatorships.
Your new book focuses on the Colombia in particular, and yet another terrorist movement, the FARC. In Colombia. Tell us a little bit about why you've chosen that, and what sort of transition took place. Once again, it was ideals that became tarnished, and how that plays out through the book.
I have not analyzed why I did it. See, I just did it, and but basically the idea was I always felt very much that the Native Americans have been exploited. And have been robbed of their territories, of their culture, and they still are. So I always wanted to visit the Yanomami Indians, and I never had this chance because there are political reasons why they did not want me to visit. I requested visits to them, but they would not allow me because I lived in the United States, and that's not a complex issue. But, so I created, and I know that some mining companies in Latin America that wanted to explore regions, and there are strict laws, and if there are Indians living in that region, they cannot explore them. They have to. These are protected areas. So what these companies say, well, if there were no Indians, we could do it. So that's what they go about it. They hire some people to get rid of the Indians, which I know has happened in Brazil. I know very well for big landowners would hire people to get rid of the Indians, and then there would not be Indians in the land, and then they could create these big farms. So I created this situation, and cassiterite, there's a very valuable mineral called cassiterite, that's tin, and this mountain there where there are Indians. So, and I bring together the FARC, these FARC, the rebels, and the FARC actually in some ways participates in this. The mining company, and the Yanomami tribe, and then the conflict between them. That's the setting of that novel. And the FARC is also a movement that started to liberate Colombia from oppression, and this movement somehow deteriorated through this long